I have laid out all of my supplies here for you. We're going to start off with our SB ink. This is the specially designed tagless ink that we offer. It is good for any type of fabric content or blends, from polys to cottons to nylon, spandex, lycra, everything. This is good for it. It is used with a hardener. It is specifically the 1000 HNX hardener. And finally, we are going to mix our solvent in there, specifically our G solvent. This is going to help us thin out the mix. So the first thing we're going to do is we are going to put our cup on our scale and tare it or zero it. And keep in mind, we like paper cups. We don't want to use any plastic or foam cups because the solvent will attack it and you don't want any contaminants in your ink. So once you have your cup on there, we're going to mix our ink. And we're going to mix 50 grams of ink, which is standard for a 90 millimeter cup. Go. Next, we're going to tare our scale again, and we're going to add the hardener. The hardener should be added at 10% of the weight of the ink. So because we used 50 grams of ink, we're going to use 5 grams of the hardener. All right. Very important, you have to mix these two components together before you add the solvent or thinner. So you're going to give this a nice mix. Anywhere from 8 to 10 seconds should be fine. And now we're going to tare our scale yet again and add the solvent. So the solvent for black should be at 20% of the weight of the ink. So because we used 50 grams of ink, we're going to use 10 grams of the solvent. Remember that based on the weather, you can always tweak the solvent concentration. 20% is just the startup. We're going to give this a good mix. And a very easy way to test for viscosity is to do the figure 8 test, which means letting the ink drip off the mixing stick in a figure 8, and we should see a complete number 8 before it dissolves back into the mix. So this is perfect here. We're ready to put it in our cup. Alright, now it's time to pour our ink into our cup. This is a 90 millimeter Inkcups Versa cup. It has a special non-stick coating that allows for easy cleaning, and it also has a double-sided 90 millimeter ceramic ring. So we're going to pour our ink into our cup. Doesn't matter where the ink lands on the cup. I like to go down the middle myself. Alright, so now our ink is in our cup, and now it's time to attach the cup to the plate and subplate. This plate here is a Duralace plate by Inkcups, which I've already had a logo engraved on there with our Inkcups Cobalt 2000 laser engraver. So because the cup is magnetic, I can actually turn the plate around and snap the cup on there. And now turn this, and can't forget to vent the air out of the cup. So we just literally take this vent plug out, let that air escape, and put it right back in there. And now we're ready to put this in our machine. Okay, so now we're ready to mount our cup, plate, and subplate onto our machine. You can see we've done so already here. In this case though, we used a different plate material. This shiny blue material is our cobalt steelback material. It's also, like the Duralees, a very long-lasting material, and it's used in a lot of tagless applications. So now that we have our cup and plate all secure and ready to go, it's time to mount our pad. So here we have two of our best-selling tagless pads. This is the SO53 short pad, and this is the 150 short pad. I like to use square pad for a square artwork and a round pad for a round artwork if you can. So now it's time to get them on the machine. The way you do that is you mount this pad base onto them, 2 screws, and you see the dovetail there. It just slides into the holding fixture there, tighten it, and you're ready to print. Okay, now that we have our machine ready to go, ready to print, I'm going to take you through 4 of our most common tagless pad printing machines. The first model we're going to talk about today is our B100 one color pad printer. The B100 can print anywhere from 800 to about 1200 prints per hour, and the maximum print area for this machine is 3.1 inches or about 80 millimeters. It is a semi-automatic pad printer, so you are going to need compressed air to run it. You're going to plug in your air here, and you're going to use anywhere from 85 to 100 pounds of compressed air to run it. Alright, so we're going to get a print off here. As you can see, this is a one color print on a face mask. But really the cool thing about these machines is all the versatility that you have when it comes to printing different objects. You can print on hard goods, you can print on drinkware, you can print on silicone, metal, glass, cardboard, anything under the sun you can print with this machine. Okay, next up is the ICN 2200 PS machine. This is a 1 or 2 color pad printer. Just like the B100, it has 90 millimeter ink cups, which are capable of printing 3.1 inch or 90 millimeter artworks. It is also a semi-pneumatic machine, so it does need compressed air. And I guess the most notable difference is this is a pedestal machine, which has a stand, whereas the B100 is a tabletop model. And this machine, you can run it through the use of the start-stop button in the control panel or attaching a foot pedal to it. So the PS in the machine name actually stands for pad shuttle, and this is a really important feature because when you are printing on 2 color mode, both colors get picked up at the same time. Station 1 on the right gets laid down first, and then the pads shift to the right, and the second color gets stamped after. So this is important because you have a precise registration every time, as your garment stays stationary and your pads are the ones that move. Alright, so I'm going to show you a 2 color print on the ICN 2200. You can see color 1 gets laid down, pad shuttle, color 2 gets laid down. You have a 2 color compression. Alright, so here is the B150 pad printer. This is a 1 color pad printer, just like the B100, except it has a 150 millimeter ink cup versus that of the B100, which is just 90 millimeter. The B150 can print up to 5.5 inches or about 140 millimeters. Now, this is also a semi-automatic machine, so you will need compressed air to run it. And you can operate the machine with the start-stop button on the control panel or attach a foot pedal to it as well. So as you can see, the machine functions are exactly the same in this machine, with just a much larger bench. Okay, so now we're going to get this cotton t-shirt printed on the B150. And as you can see, it's touch dry immediately after